All right. Test.
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 Nikolai, come alive in 5, 4, 3.
And welcome back to segment number 3 of Convincing Idiots. I am Millennial Nick. I'm here with Gen X Brian and Zennial Dean. And much like ourselves, so often when we're out and about, people are just like, this podcast is so wonderful. It makes me wonder why I ever listen to any other podcasts.
Daily.
And that this podcast will hopefully last as long as the three of us do. So, a couple more years with Brian at his age, but there would be no reason. There would be no reason. What I'm trying to get at, there would be no reason to take the perfection, the cocktail of perfection that we have with the three of us here, and try to put a different spin on it, or put different people who are similar to us in our places. Lane, my oldest, don't get any ideas. He's been trying to replace me on this show for years now. But there would be no reason to try to manufacture what we do.
Don't try to step in. We don't need humor. Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Dean displays that every week. So anyway, we are here. There's no reason to try to recreate this wonderfulness when what we give you each and every week is already so immaculate. Which leads us to wonder some of our favorite films in the past. Why? Why have some of the timeless classics that we have come to love and enjoy, why has someone felt the need to remake this masterpiece? You're already fighting an uphill battle. The first was so wonderful. Why? Baby, why? Why did you decide to remake this movie? So that's what we're going to talk about. Some of our, kind of, like Brian mentioned, it's not necessarily that the remakes were bad. These are not poorly remade movies. It's just the fact of more that
unnecessary.
And maybe in some cases the remakes were bad, but only by comparison to the wonderful original piece that was the original movie. So we're going to discuss some of our least favorite remakes, movies that we feel just did not need to be remade, do not ever perhaps need to be remade, and we're going to go from there. So, Brian, I believe this was your idea, was it not? Was this your topic?
Yeah, again, I saw a question on the Twitter that somebody had posed.
Did you say on the Twitter?
Yes. No, on Twitter. I didn't say the Twitter. Not
because
the Twitter.
87 years old.
I was leaving the Acme. And I looked at my cell phone, my cellular device, my smartphone, and I saw on the Twitter.
And I looked at it, and it said, "Is that the Twitter?" I get on the Twitter. Sorry.
All right.
Was that George Bush talking about the Twitter?
No, it's Junior, and he's looking at the Twitter, and it's like crying. As you go, now, I got on the Twitter, and I don't know what the Twitter does to me.
Now, Junior, I tried to tell you once before, there's no reason to waste your time on there. No good can come from it.
But they told me, Dad, they told me that
now, son,
that I need to be in the Twitter.
Son, I done taught you better than to go asking your pappy questions. Now, once I tell you not to do it, you're not going to do it. Not anymore. Not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent. Wouldn't be a good use of your time now, would it? No, it wouldn't.
But Dad, the Twitter needs the W. So I need to get on the W. Why wouldn't I get on the Twitter?
I don't know why I named your middle name W when all I've been doing is taking L since you were born.
Because you're a shitty dad. Sorry, Brian. Go ahead. Sorry.
Continue.
Sorry.
And scene.
Were you not going to jump in as Barbara? What the fuck, Brian?
For real, we're waiting. You have the bosom.
Whole family unit for it, man.
All right, this is Barbara. Shut the fuck up.
Barbara, you beautiful soul, the light of my life.
Thank you.
But Mama, why? Sorry.
In case you just somehow you tuned in, and if somehow someone's listening, you overheard sort of that. That was not actually the Bush family.
No,
those were impressions. Believe it or not.
You're like, I don't understand. They just said they were going to talk about movie remakes, and they just went into this diatribe of the Bush family, and I don't understand what is happening.
Yeah, I'm going to give you sort of a curveball here. My first one here is not necessarily my. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time that they remade, completely unnecessary. Miracle on 34th Street. So they remade the movie in 1994. I have not watched the remake. I have no interest to watch the remake at all. The original was too good, fantastic, fabulous, and the gentleman. We talked about favorite Christmas movies before. That is on my list of all-time favorite Christmas movies. The guy that played Santa Claus and that won Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Timeless classic, one of the best classic movies of all time, in my opinion. Certainly one of the best Christmas movies of all time. No reason to remake it, yet somebody felt compelled to do so. And again, movie might be fantastic. No interest to see it. Doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree with you.
There you go.
Actually, I would actually put that in most... Actually, all Christmas classic movies should just be left alone.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the opportunity to make better Jingle All the Way. Go ahead and do it. Let's see what happens.
Sure.
But other than that...
Don't know how that would be, but okay. Interesting pick.
Well, The Rock and The Rock
could really knock that movie out of the park.
Anyway,
I really think we could do something with that.
Like A Christmas Carol. No, that's more of the story and not the movie
that's a
necessarily.
Story.
But they've had good versions of that, certainly.
Right.
But
honestly, if you look back on it, a lot of those early movies really nailed the Christmas Carol. Like the 1934, I think there's 33 or 34 version of the Christmas Carol. You don't get much better. Yeah, you can get the special effects better.
Have you seen the Muppet Christmas Carol?
That's what I'm saying. There's different versions that are very good.
All right, valid point.
You can't say it's not, but like I said, Miracle on 34th Street is just different. It's just that is fair. More the movie itself and the acting and all that stuff. So there you go.
That's fair.
Yeah, Dean, what do you got?
Okay, I'm gonna go honestly with movie that honestly
he doesn't have a list.
I don't know if you want to consider it a remake, but it was almost supposed to be considered a sequel, but was unnecessary because superhero movies are always, rebooted, remade, whatnot. Superman Returns with Brandon Routh. I love Brandon Routh, but he was brought on to be a quasi Christopher Reeve, which was 1,000% unnecessary. He's a great actor. The script actually wasn't horrible, but the whole thing was just unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
You could, and I know I'm going off beat of this topic right now, but you can reboot Superman. You can reboot all of these superhero movies, but to kind of reboot it in the vein of the same kind of actor, 1,000% unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my pick.
Very good.
Okay.
Nick, what do you got?
This one, I'll start off with this one. We kind of mentioned it off camera, but I'll bring it up now. It was on my list. Ben-Hur was remade. We just a few episodes talked about some of our favorite movies and different things that shaped us as a child. What's that?
Is it because of the pronoun?
Because of the pronoun?
Her.
Oh, you. oh, you. AIDS. Anyway.
Pronouns.
That was a very boomer-esque voice you put. That was good. Pronouns.
Pronouns.
Yeah. But Ben-Hur, like the original with Charlton Heston, is such an incredible movie. And like I mentioned a few episodes ago, even as a young kid seeing it so many years after it was made, I really gravitated toward it and just really loved it and appreciated how good it was done. But I guess, yeah, there was a remake of Ben-Hur a handful of years ago. I've not seen it. Like, I don't have a desire to see it. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't need to. It's just one of those ones that doesn't need to be touched. It was so well done that I just, like I said, by the time I had seen it, it was at a very, very old movie then, and I still loved it as a young kid, which is really saying something. So yeah, I don't really know why that ever needed touched. You're not going to tell the story in a different way. It's not, and I don't know how you would do a better job of encapsulating the entire story than the original did. You know what I mean? So it's certainly a very long film and just an epic movie. So Ben-Hur is my first one. I love the first one. There's no need to touch it.
Very good.
So Dean?
Okay.
Or Brian, I'm sorry, back to Brian.
I've complained about this remake often on this podcast and otherwise. The original movie, too good, too solid, unnecessary to try to reboot it. Nightmare on Elm Street. They remade that back in 2010. Again, the original with Robert Englund. It's too good. It's a huge mistake to try to replace Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. This doesn't make any sense. Again, the actor was fine. It's just the storyline just completely different. Didn't resonate. Don't do it. Freddy has too much of a personality. It's easy to reboot. The other killers, as we talked about on other shows as well, with Michael Myers and these. That's easy stuff. Right. You can't replace Robert Englund and his personality, what he brought to that character, and the whole tone of that movie. So unnecessary. Continue it. Great. Yeah. Bring back Robert Englund. Sure. Fine. Do that again.
Or even if you find a way to pass it on, but don't.
Yeah. Don't
take Freddy Krueger and make him another actor.
Exactly.
Find a way to like continue it with something else. It's going to be shit, but it's better than trying to just replace Freddy Krueger himself.
Exactly. Right. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't work.
Right.
That's it. Dean, what's next?
All right. Mine's going to go on the easiest one that I could think of as soon as Brian brought this up. It was my immediate thought. However you want to call it. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka, I don't care what you fucking call it. Johnny Depp should have fucking stayed away. Holy shit. I spent quite a few years not going and watching that film. So when I had a son, he wanted to see it, so we sat down and watched it. Oh boy, what dog shit that is. Really? Yeah. First of all, I get Johnny Depp being one of our generation's greatest actors. I understand that. I understand all the amazing things he's done. And I get Tim Burton being one of the greatest directors and whatnot of our generation. But when you start trying to fuck with Gene Wilder...
No, it's you're right.
You can't.
No.
Johnny Depp should have known better. I don't care if they would have given him the script that said his fucking cock was gold and you get to just shove it and cure cancer. It doesn't matter. You're fucking with Gene Wilder. You shouldn't have done it. Leave well enough alone.
Should not have did it.
That was close to my contract for season 2 of this podcast. Believe it or not, it was close.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, you're right.
Your lawyers had some weird wording. It was very odd, but it made sense towards the second season. So
yeah, when we set up and wrote that contract, it was very long. We'll get into another time, but no, you're right. Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka. That's it. Mm-hmm. It's not unlike Robert Englund being Freddy Krueger. Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka. You can't mess with it.
It wasn't even like he did a reading of it. He made that character like what it was, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just, I mean, every nuance he put into it. And again, I'm gonna be honest. That movie's kind of dog shit, like the first one.
It's
right?
a weird, creepy movie. It really is.
It's a weird, creepy movie.
Yeah.
But he makes it like presentable and acceptable. Mm-hmm. Gene Wilder makes that movie as well as every other movie he was in. But he makes, like, he holds that movie together to make it like a classic.
Yeah.
And to fuck with that is,
Nick, what else you got?
One of my favorite films of all time was Remade, and I don't know why, because every time I watch it, again, another old movie, every time I see it,
I peed on my shoe.
All these years later, no reason to ever fucking touch it, because it's perfect, just the way it is. Psycho. Why would you remake Psycho?
Yeah,
Psycho is one of the best movies I've ever fucking seen, and I don't know how you could do it better.
Did they remake it in movie form or just the?
I think a couple times. A couple times
because I know they did a
Vince
series.
Vaughn. There was a Vince. Now that was good.
Movie.
Bates Motel.
That's right. Holy shit.
Bates Motel was a very good spin-off series. It was a prequel to Psycho.
Did you watch the end of that?
Great show. That was a great show.
Did you watch the end of that series?
Yes.
It made no sense. Or like comparative to like the movie. If it was supposed to be a prequel, it made no sense.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, I'm being vague because spoiler, but it's a great series.
Yeah.
But it made completely no sense if you're making it a sequel or prequel to Psycho.
It was there were some things that you'd have difficulty tying into.
Yeah, Norman Bates went on. He was like a genius doctor or something, right? Something like that.
different show, bro.
Oh,
yeah. You're mixing it up, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know. I think, like I said, I think it may have been redone a couple times. I know there was one that Vince Vaughn was in, and I think there was one after, maybe even. But why?
I don't know. But you're right.
Doesn't matter.
You're right.
No need.
Yep.
Once is too many, or twice, or the second. Once to remake it is one time too many. So, I just think Psycho is just, every time I see it, it is the exact kind of psychological thriller suspense film that I gravitate towards that type of shit. So it was just such a great movie. It's so well done, and every time I watch it, I'm just as like enthralled in it as I was the first time I watched it. And it's hard to find a movie that can do that to you. So I don't know why you would ever try to touch something with that kind of power. So Psycho is one for me.
Excellent.
Back to Brian.
I'm going to give you. How about Arthur? Arthur. They remade Arthur in 2011.
Who did
Russell
that?
Brand.
Russell Brand.
Yeah, I saw that in the theater. Actually,
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
And second that, really?
Yeah. Exactly. We went to go see it in the theater.
Why?
Original Dudley Moore, Liza Minnelli. I've
never seen the original though, so I wasn't like a thing where I'm like, don't touch it. It was Russell Brand.
Did Russell Brand also have a club foot?
He was the hot shit at the time, so we wanted to see.
And Helen Mirren was in this too, Dean. She was the butler, like the grumpy butler that was in the original. Yeah. Go back and watch the original sometime, Nick. If you like, I didn't see the remake. Again, it's another one.
Dudley Moore was good.
Dudley Moore was fantastic in that movie. They made a sequel, which was crap, but the original was just very good and heartwarming, and he just played that role perfectly. Of course, he got stereotyped as a drunk type guy for a while in the movie, but anyways, he was great in that role. No need to remake it. That's it. So Arthur is the next one on my list. You know what you got.
All right. I'm going to actually go on, like some of you guys said, movies that I actually haven't seen, but I just know shouldn't have been remade.
Sure. Yep.
I'm going to go with Point Break.
Yeah.
I guess they remade it in 2017.
Yep.
But the Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze, and heist movie, if you will, was so early to mid 90s awesome. You do not need to remake it. I mean, Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze at his bleach blonde best.
Mhm.
I honestly, I didn't even begin to read like who actually was in the 2017 movie because I didn't give a fuck.
Mhm.
It just shouldn't have been done. You don't take a cultural masterpiece. I'm not saying masterpiece. I'm saying cultural timed masterpiece like that. So, Point Break is my next movie.
Very good. It definitely seemed unnecessary. Nick, what else you got?
I have another just incredible movie. Like Dean said, have not seen the remake. Know that there was one. Don't fuck with it. And this actually didn't even think about this until you said it. Patrick Swayze, Red Dawn. Don't fucking remake
yeah.
Red Dawn.
I
Right.
Red
agree.
Dawn's a fucking incredible movie. Why are you remaking Red Dawn? There's
Right.
nothing to just don't. Just fucking don't.
It is
I
an
don't have anything to
80s
add. There's
masterpiece.
nothing eloquent to say. Just fucking don't. It's Red Dawn.
Yep.
Just leave it alone. Yeah. That's it. You don't need to make Red Dawn.
1,000%.
Still holds up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Brian.
One of the most popular 80s movies, pop culture, iconic to a point where they have brought it back in a continuation series. They remade The Karate Kid, you might remember, in 2010.
Yeah. Jackie Chan.
Was it Jackie
I
Chan?
agree
Yeah,
100% on this.
Will Smith's kid, his son.
You can do sequels out the ass.
Not a terrible movie. Again, the storyline, it was, it stayed kind of true to the original. It was fine. It was a different take of the story. Jackie Chan was terrific. Just don't call it the fucking Karate Kid. You don't need to do it. You could have retooled it a little bit more. Obviously, they're trying to play off the name of the original and get popularity, and I don't know. But again, not a terrible movie, just unnecessary to rename, try to remake The Karate Kid. You're not going to be able to go anywhere with it. Obviously, they thought they could and did not.
1,000%.
Yep. Dean, any others? There's tons out here.
There are tons out there. I'm going to go with what should be the most obvious, as you do not fuck with the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Peter Sellers is a fucking genius.
Right.
I don't get me wrong. The cast of the new one,
Steve Martin was fine.
And again, like you said about the other movie, if they would have called it something else, cool, that would have worked. But don't try to.
You can't replace that cartoon, man.
Nick, we'll talk later. But you do not replace Peter Sellers.
Right.
He is too. Jesus. I mean, it's not even iconic. Like, he is in, like, I mean, he's in the stratosphere of, like, iconic, not only characters, but, like, comedic actors.
Sure.
So I couldn't even imagine what he was thinking, trying to, like, even attempt it. But yeah, it angered me even, like, hearing that they were going to do it. Then I watched the trailer, and I'm like, it's just bullshit. So
Actually, there should be two of those. The first one made enough money; they made a sequel, which was.
I know.
Anyway,
Steve Martin did 2 Pink Panthers?
Yes.
Yep. He sure did.
I was so confused. I think we've talked about this on the podcast. I was so confused when they came out with that movie because I was like, why is Steve Martin playing a cartoon panther in a movie? I don't understand. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what are they doing?
What I would be curious on, like, what kind of fucking ridiculous money they gave him.
Oh, sure.
Because you know that he is just acting wise, not take away like comedian and comedic actor wise, just actor in general, of like you know how much he probably respects, film and other actors. They had to have just backed up the goddamn Brinks truck in front of him and said,
Sure.
"Keep your mouth shut. Just do it."
Absolutely.
Just silly. I never understood it. And anyways.
Yep. Just, again, like you say, unnecessary.
Yep.
Nick, any other ones you want to call out, sir?
I'll make this my last one. This is kind of a cheat, but it's a blanket one. Disney and remaking all of their popular cartoon movies as CGI or live action. Like, I mean, again, there's been some good ones. Some are entertaining, right? Why though? Like, they're just to show off that you can do them in with more effects and
Pretty
make
much.
them look differently. Like The Lion King was virtually unchanged.
They added one song. That was it.
Yeah.
They did it well, though.
Jungle Book was good. They did the Jungle Book a little bit differently, and that was cool. Aladdin was phenomenal. Aladdin is hands down the best. Like, just amazingly done. That was incredible.
I've never seen Aladdin one.
Again, they don't need. It's not. That's what it is. It's not that some have been great.
So, Nick, you're not going to go see Little Mermaid?
I probably will. I have children. I would imagine I will. Yeah. I mean, I'm not in a rush to see it, but I'm sure I will, because I think Robin wants to see it.
Like I said last week, I think they're doing a pretty good job trying to keep up with Ariel being the hottest character.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll reserve this conversation for if we have a discussion in a future episode, but. But yeah, I just don't think Disney needs to. I don't think they need. I mean, it's, again, you don't need to remake the movies. I get what they're doing. I get
money.
Their money. People are going to go see it. I've seen almost all of them. I mean, it's working, but it's just, there's really no need. These are classics, and you don't really need to go and do them again in live action or with a bunch of CGI. But, some have been real good, so it's not really necessarily a complaint, but I just don't think it's necessary. So,
yep.
Fair enough.
There you go. I'll give you a quick Arnold twofer, guys.
Okay. Total Recall. That's right.
Sure.
That's one of them. Completely unnecessary. Don't do it. I have no interest to watch the remake with Colin Farrell. Fine actor.
Right.
Sure.
And the first one, had some special effects that were good at the time that maybe don't hold up the best, but still. Fun movie, great concept. Arnold is awesome, and one of my favorite Arnold movies. I know, Nick, we talked about this on Conan the Barbarian. I kind of forgot they remade this.
Wasn't it Jason Momoa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it
really?
Yes.
Why don't I remember that?
This is one of his earlier movies, I believe.
Yeah,
Jason
it
Momoa.
might have been even before Game of Thrones or something. It's pretty
really
early on.
Again,
I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
But
I get it.
I don't know. For me, man, I enjoyed Conan the Barbarian so much.
No, I'm saying I can understand them casting Jason Momoa. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, sure.
They shouldn't do it.
Sure, I'm sure he was great. And again, the movie could be great. It just too many good things at the original with Arnold, and it just didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense. By the way, I didn't know Conan is streaming on Netflix right now, by the way. Also,
nice.
that Fubar started tonight, Nick.
It does tomorrow, I believe, isn't it? Or is it tonight?
Today.
Oh, today's the 25th.
Well, regardless, when you hear this, it will been days streaming.
That's right.
Yes.
We spent a lot of time talking about the things that shouldn't be remade, but I would like to briefly give flowers to something that I'm glad was remade, and that is the modern take on the bicycle in which we've always known it.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps my favorite remake of all has been the electric bike. That's right. And if you're not familiar with that, well, allow me to introduce you to our friends at RPM Bike Shop. They are located in Carrollton, Ohio, not too far from where we are recording here. You can find them on Facebook. Type in RPM Bike Shop. You can also go to their website, rpmbikeshop.com. Or you can even give them a ring-a-ding at 330-808-7792 to find out what all the fuss is about on this remake on a bicycle. That's right. RPM Bike Shop can get you hooked up with one of their finest products in electric biking today. So let them know Convincing Idiots loves them, and you will too.
Excellent. Well, I already gave a shout out to Scott earlier at the beginning of the show with the new tattoo and all that. But I was
he can fuck off. We got that taken care of.
That's right. Figure it out how to reach.
Get off my ass.
Figure it out. We'll help you a little bit more. So again, Golden Heart Tattoo, guys do great work there. At Golden Heart Norton on Facebook, if you're in the Northeast Ohio area looking for some new ink, or give them a call at 234-706-2982. Also find them online, goldenhearttattoos.com. Well, we could go through plenty more movies they should not have remade. And if you guys out there have an opinion, love to hear from you. Give us a contact on one of our social media platforms. Love to hear from you. Nick, we've done it. We all came back.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
We've made it through another episode. Dean, I don't know. What are you thinking here? Was any suggestions, or Nick? Maybe you have a thought here. Is maybe one of the characters in a remake didn't need to happen. I don't know. Any thoughts here, gentlemen, as far as the outro this evening?
Nice try there, but I'd like my son to go ahead and help me out with this one.
Perfect. There you go.
But Dad, do you really need to do the outro?
That's right, son. I do, because the great American people are waiting to hear from yours truly. That's right. So,
all right, fine, Dad. Do it. Do it.
You know,
I'm going to sit back here and eat ice cream. Go ahead, do it.
There's certain things that never, ever need to be remade, and I'm going to tell you about it. Like one of those great things, the United States of America. That's right and true. That's right. As well as this podcast, Convincing Idiots. That's right, boys and girls. You can follow along with Convincing Idiots on... what's that? The internet. That's right, on your computer machine. That's right. You can find us by going to Convincing Idiots Linktree, LINKTREE. Now I know what you're thinking. I know what you're gonna say. You're probably sitting there wondering yourself while your dumb ass is eating some ice cream. You're thinking to yourself, Daddy, where am I gonna find myself a tree with links on it? No. Take that dunce cap off and head on over to your computer. Go over to Google Convincing Idiots, LINKTREE.com, and there you can find all of the links, the wonderful links that'll take you all over to the interwebs. Your wildest dreams will be fulfilled. You can also find that information on our website. That's right, convincingidiots.wordpress. You know what it is, you know where to find us, and you know how to support us. So, for another episode of Convincing Idiots, I am your Commander-in-Chief, George Beck.
Daddy, you're so goddamn great. I love you. And I am Dean.
That's my good boy. That's my good boy, W. Yeah, right there.
Oh, thank you, Dad. Thank you.
That is my beautiful wife, my blushing bride, Barbara.
Strategery.
Barbara's got a cold.
Gen X Barb here.
I love when her voice gets all raspy like that. It's very arousing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, for another episode of Convincing Idiots.
Mama, your voice is so deep.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my, she's talking dirty now. So, for Convincing Idiots, have we convinced you to come back for another arousing episode with us? The American people, come on, join us.
Ham gravy.
Oh, I lost myself on the look around, turn around.
Look around.
Like, fuck it. Hey,
Turn
I'll fucking-
around.
Yeah, not doing Put your right foot in, put your right foot out.
Yeah. Paint the house.
If you just keep talking, nobody will notice.
Pay the bills, put the dryer, laundry in the
What are we
thing,
talking
and then
about?
turn on-
What day is it? Yeah.
Rub your elbow because it hurts. And then don't forget to limp because your left knee is sore. Good night, everybody. We love you. Did you call your mother?
For these and other incoherent ramblings, please join us.